local television. Very good program this afternoon.
Excuse me, sir. Would you please sit down? All right. I'd like to move to the second item, please. Order, please. Please keep your voice down.
That was classic.
The second item on the agenda is the roll call of officers. Would you please identify yourself, Barbara?
Barbara Strugar, Secretary.
Would you?
Carlucci, Vice President.
And I, of course, am Jeremy, or Jerry May, the Assistant Secretary. And the reason, as I said earlier, that I'm chairing this meeting is that the Vice President has delegated her authority to me to do so.
Yes.
In the absence of the President, the bylaws stipulate that the Vice President will assume the chair unless the Vice President decides or wishes to delegate that authority to one of the other board members. And in this case, she has delegated that authority to me. We therefore have a quorum, correct?
Yes.
Right. Could you make a note of that? All right. Okay. The next item on the agenda is to read the minutes of the last meeting at which association business has been discussed. Would you please do that?
Sure.
Okay, that would be the meeting of 10/12/09.
Just repeat that.
Yeah, what did you say, Barbara?
I said that would be the meeting of 10/12/09.
Oh, okay.
The last
Because I think there was a
legal meeting.
mistake in the
All right,
one on
we're
the
going
agenda.
on.
Yes, okay.
And all board members were present except for our president and our treasurer, who was taken ill with the flu. The meeting was called to order at 7 p.m. The vice president asked the assistant secretary to chair the meeting. There was an apology for the absence from the treasurer. The minutes of the previous board meeting, 10/6/09, were approved without comment. Main business. The following motions were carried by a 3-0 margin. All board members to be personally notified of board meetings at least 1 week in advance. All board members to be issued with a key to the RS Association office. All board members to have unrestricted access to all Rivershore Association records, accounts, correspondence, minutes, etc. in both hard copy and PC resident format. The secretary and assistant secretary to get keys to all glass-covered Rivershores Association notice boards. The secretary and assistant secretary to issue all non-emergency Rivershore Association notices. The secretary and assistant secretary to issue all Rivershore Association cable channel 95 announcements. Prior consultation with all board members and majority board approval to be always required for the following: the issuing of non-emergency Rivershore Association notices, the issuing of warning notices to individual owners, all legal action, correspondence, activity, and expenditure, all Rivershore Association costs exceeding $300, for example, repairs, maintenance, office equipment, staff hiring, compensation, changes to staff working conditions, proposed owner assessments, proposed increases in owner monthly maintenance, changes to Rivershore Association rules and regulations, Rivershore Association budget drafts, Comcast TV service renewal, and Rivershore Association condo documents complete list. The chairman confirmed the existence of missing pages and the copies of the condo docs he proposed to ensure the missing data was located and included in the future mail out to owners. Any other business? The following motions were carried. The board's authority to vote on these matters was disputed because they had not been individually itemized in advance on the meeting agenda. The chairman proposed to investigate. Harold Willard to resign as president. The vote was 2-1. The Rivershores Association appointments in April of 2009 in the Middle River Club, committee be voided. That was voted on, and it was 3-0. It was pointed out that the board had not been involved in voting on the appointments as required by the Condo Docs Middle River Club Agreement of July 1972. The compensation of the office employee, Ms. Elizabeth Schwartz, be reduced from $37.50 an hour to $20 hourly. Vote was 3-0 in favor. It was emphasized that she was not currently licensed as a community association manager and that the going market rate, for example, as detailed in ads from Craigslist, etc., for licensed cams averaged $20 or less hourly. The meeting closed at 8 p.m.
Right, are those minutes approved?
I approve.
Okay, all right. I propose that they are approved. Do you second it, Mark?
I do.
Okay. And you okay. All right. The next, what I want to just say briefly about those minutes is that you may recall that that on the agenda, which was posted on the notice boards, the meeting, strictly a board meeting, which was held in September, the 25th of September, I believe, here in Middle River Club. It was stipulated in that agenda that the minutes of that meeting be read. Now, the reason that we have not read the minutes of that meeting is very simply as follows. First of all, the last meeting, the last board meeting, official, legal, legitimate board meeting of this association was not held on 9/25, it was held on 10/12, that is the 12th of October. And that is the last legal, legitimate meeting of the association. Therefore, it is legitimate to read the minutes of that meeting and not the minutes of the 9/25/09 meeting. Secondly, the minutes of that meeting, i.e. 9/25/09, have already been read and approved. They were read and approved at the board meeting held on the 6th of October, that's 10/6/09. If anybody wants to come back afterwards and check that, I can show him the minutes of that meeting, which confirm that that the minutes of the 9/25 meeting were read and approved at the 10/06/09 meeting. No, I'm talking about the 10/06 meeting. They were read and approved at the 10/06 meeting without any. They were approved unanimously. So those are the two reasons primarily that we have decided tonight to read instead the minutes of the 10/12/09 meeting, which was the last board meeting of River Shores Association. What I want to say finally about that 10/12/09 meeting, the minutes of which we've just read, thank you. Will one of us will one of us propose the motion to?
Okay. I propose the motion to officially approve all decisions made at the 10/12/09 board meeting.
Seconded.
Yes.
Now you may wonder, some of you, why it is necessary to have such a motion and to pass such a motion at this meeting. The reason is very simple. That meeting we held, that board meeting, the minutes of which have just been read by the secretary. That meeting, as I said, was a legal, legitimate meeting of the board of River Shores Association. The unit owners were invited to attend the meeting as they are entitled to under the Florida statutes. I'd like everybody here to know this, please. This is important. Every single board meeting of River Shores Association is required by law, by statutory Florida law, to be notified in advance, at least 3 days in advance of the meeting, on the notice boards, so that all of the members, all the unit owners, are aware of that meeting and can attend it. They're invited to attend all board meetings which are advertised. and there is a requirement, as I said, statutory Florida requirement to advertise all board meetings. We have tried this year, in fact we have succeeded. We've had 5 board meetings since April this year. Every one of those, except for the first, has been advertised to the unit owners by having notices posted on the association notice boards. Unfortunately, almost invariably what has happened in practice is that those notices have been torn down almost immediately. I'm not going to say who did it, that doesn't help us very much. The simple fact is that they were torn down almost immediately. And that is why comparatively few members of the association were aware of the existence of these meetings. I actually went around several times on a number of occasions and put up replacement copies of the notification of those board meetings, only to find a few hours later that they'd been torn down again. The problem is, as I think all of you will be aware now, the secretary and I do not have keys to the glass-covered association notice boards, which you'll find obviously on the ground floor of every building. For that reason, we cannot post such notices on those notice boards. Instead, we had to just attach them using Scotch tape to those notice boards, or we had to use push pins to attach them to the other notice board downstairs, and they were ripped down almost immediately. So there we go. I just wanted everybody to be aware of that. Tony.
Jeremy, is somebody preventing you from getting the keys to put up the notices?
The simple fact, Tony, is that we have not, Barbara and myself in particular, as a secretary and assistant secretary, have not been provided with those keys, even though we have requested them.
Oh, I see.
And even though this, the minutes we have just read for the 10/12/09 meeting stipulated that motion was passed demanding the right to have those keys. That motion, that requirement, which was passed at that meeting, has not been honoured.
Jeremy, I need to say what we discussed. A lot of people came to me and were very, very upset because they thought these 3 people were targeting me personally to be removed from the Middle River Club board, and they have all talked with me over and over again, and I am not their target. If anything, they have asked me to help them in ways that I felt comfortable with doing. So there was a minute they were very angry with these people, but I was not the target of that. But in order to get rid of the other people, they had to get rid of all of us. And then they could come back and, I guess I'm saying this right, reinstate who was willing to be reinstated. Is that?
Thank you very much, Margaret. Jared?
Yes, can you please explain to the association that's in this room, from the minutes that you just read, what has been taken upon and processed and what has just been thrown out?
Every single motion which was passed, and except for one of the motions which the secretary has just read out from the minutes of that meeting, every single one of those motions has been disregarded, has been ignored.
So we are currently paying Betsy still $37.50 an
Correct.
hour.
And I actually have copies of the paychecks.
May we ask who signed them?
Yes, indeed. I can produce them. If you'll just bear with me. All right. If anybody would like to have a look at these, they're welcome. These are the paychecks which have been signed, or rather co-signed. There are about 5 of them here, mostly for the month of...
Who co-signed them, please?
I'm just going to tell you. These are paychecks that are